Just thought I'd do this little quick stream. Don't know how long it's going to go on for. Apologies you heard what you heard in the last stream. It's been reported, and I'm not ashamed to admit to that. But these lot have been saying these things for months. In fact, probably a couple of years now. It's been going on for a long time. And hopefully tonight they've had their cuppings, they've had their comments. You know what I mean. Hopefully they've had their comments by basically doing that for the last time. But I highly doubt it'll be the last time. But yeah, well, I remember a family member said to me one time, "Would you ever consider leaving where you live?" And I said, "Well, no. Why should I? Why should I move from here just because of three people? No, I'm not moving from here. Definitely not." This channel staying put. Galavanter is going to continue doing what he enjoys. And he's not going to let anyone stop him. No one is going to stop him. I was going to turn off the live chat here just so I could actually say what I feel, but if any of you guys want to leave a comment, feel free. If you don't know what's happened, have a look at my live before this and fast forward to maybe around, it's about 7 minutes long, but fast forward to maybe around 3 minutes in. Yeah. But this channel's going nowhere. It's staying put. I love making these videos and I ain't going anywhere. As I was about to say on the previous live stream before, Stuart's just said, "Hey, what do you mean by I thought it was going in for the Ember bus?" No, I'm sorry, mate. I replied to Stuart's comment, and we were talking about the new upcoming destinations, calling points for the E5 from Edinburgh to Fort William, E4 should I say. I actually thought it meant it was going in to Castleview Park and Ride itself. That's my fault. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. My apologies. Hey, Freddie says, "Hi, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing all well. Hope you're doing well." Basically, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the last live stream I did, I was walking down the street around the corner from where I live, and a couple of youths I've been having a few problems with over the past, probably at least year to 2 years, suddenly appeared, and I thought, oh no, here we go. But hopefully they'll get their comeuppance, because I've now got them seeing the abuse that they always give me live on here. So hopefully something will get done about it. Stuart says it's going into Erskine House directly opposite the Park and Ride, so the business park. I know exactly where that is. The P2 goes round there. To be fair, it's not far to walk, you know. If you're taking the E3 from Glasgow and you're intending to connect with the E4 for whatever reason, or you're connecting with still in city centre, it's not far to walk over to the Park and Ride if you want to go over there. I've done a video on the P2 route from Stirling City Centre to the Park and Ride. Crikey, that was a long time ago I did that one. That was at least last year, maybe in the year before. when I did that one. It was a long time ago. Yeah, so we're now hearing rumours of a new E7, Aberdeen to Inverness. Timetables are not online yet. I had a little search for them a little while ago. Stuart says Dunblane is probably the best place to change for E3 to E4, even once it stops in Stirling. That's right, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot but I think the only thing is the stops that they currently serve in Dunblane are at opposite ends of the city, I think. Dunblane's actually a city, believe it or not. Oh, apologies if you're hearing Guns N' Roses' Sweet Child of Mine, that's my ringtone. I'm actually getting a phone call from a friend of mine. I'll call them back. But yeah, that's my taste in music. Guns N' Roses, Whitesnake, Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams, that sort of stuff. 80s rock mostly. But yeah, Dunblane is a good one to actually connect with the two services. I will be doing E4 and E5 from Fort William to Glasgow and Edinburgh respectively when Arden and I get back from Penzance. I don't know if I'll be doing any lives down there, because Arden told me that we're planning to go to Land's End when we're down there, and he said the live signal tracker that he was looking at says that the 4G is what we're going to get at best down there. And he says live streaming might not be possible, but we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. I've always said don't knock something until you try it. So, yeah. But, yeah, just thought I'd give you a quick update on what was going on. Stuart says, to be fair, Ember have been dropping me in calendar for a while, as I said in the comment. Ah, okay. Well, they went through that long video that I uploaded. It was 3.5 hours long. They went through calendar, but it didn't stop there. I don't know if calendar's maybe available now to book. It might be. I don't know. My laptop's on at the moment, so I could probably actually have a quick look. But, yeah, they said they're focused on getting E8 and E9 off the ground. Don't know where they're going to go. I'm just wondering, because they don't have E6 yet, I'm thinking E6 could be Glasgow or Edinburgh to Oban, because I'm hearing rumours that there's an Oban route coming this summer as well. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Ember actually put vehicles on maybe all the way to Thurso, because I mean North Inverness is pretty dense when it comes to public transport. So I reckon another direct bus, apart from the X99, going from Inverness to Thurso would be a good idea. I do. There was something I was going to say. Yeah, there's now a few summer extensions on the 915. The CityLink service, which now means, technically, I can travel from where I live to Uig and back in one day, without the need for getting up at 4 AM and getting a taxi. I've worked that out and it is possible. I highly doubt I'll do it, to be honest. Stuart says you can currently book calendar for the first available ticket is 25th of June. Ah, right, okay. I can see that hitting McGill's 59 service. It will. Because I'd be more than, if I find out there's a street light and I'm travelling to calendar, it's a street light that's on 59, I'll quite happily go out to Castleview and take an Ember E5. And I'm not joking when I say that, I will do that. Scottish Transport Vid says, will you be coming up to Alford Open Day on July the 13th? I do plan to come up for that, yes. I am planning to come up for that. I'm probably going to look at getting a hotel in Aberdeen. I might stay the night before. Might stay a couple of nights when I'm up there. Do a few full routes. Come up early on the 12th of July. Stay till late on the 14th of July. Get a few routes done. Why not? Because I'm actually going to be in Aberdeen next Tuesday. Myself and Aaron are coming up. It's an unofficial collaboration day. We weren't planning to have anything before Penzance, but I told him that I was going to be going up to Aberdeen to do some stuff. And I was going to do 2 full routes, but I didn't know what they were at the time. And we discussed this on a lengthy video call last night. Then I said to him, I've got an idea. Why don't we do the West bus station to West Hill Circular? Then numbers 5 and number 6, the stagecoach. And Aaron's like, I like your idea for that. Because at first I was thinking maybe X9 from Stonehaven to Inverurie. But then I thought, why don't we do the West Hill Circular? So that could mean 4 videos in one day. A little bit of spotting at the bus station, a live stream, could be possible, and then we'll go for some dinner. I like the sound of that. Anyway, Stuart says, I currently have to book from Edinburgh to Lochernhead and just ask for calendar, and they have no problem with it, and since I have a Young Scot card, it costs nothing anyway, so I don't mind. Ah, right, okay, that's nice. Well, I've got a concession card as well, but it's a C+, so I think you know what type that is. Got to renew it every 4 years. But, yeah, it's just one of these things. But Callender's a beautiful place. I mean, I've been there I don't know how many times. And there was one pub. I said to a family member who's got a dog, and I think we might go up there sometime this year. I think it's called the Waverley Hotel, because they allow dogs there and they do food. So we might go for a bit of lunch, maybe a spot of dinner, and maybe take the dog for a little walk along by the banks of the river. Because she loves playing with her ball. We just chuck the ball and we just need to throw the ball and she goes chasing after it. A dog, that is, obviously. I could just imagine this family member chasing after a ball that I got thrown. Yeah, definitely not something that would happen. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what more routes would be nice to see Ember doing. I mean, I can see them doing quite a few other ones. I mean, I wouldn't be at all surprised one day if they consider doing stuff south of Glasgow and Edinburgh to the borders. I'm not going to speculate anything, I've not heard anything, but I wouldn't be at all surprised. Scottish Transport Vid says, alright, you want a few routes, then I'll give you some stagecoach ones. Okay, I wasn't actually going to take any requests at the moment, but okay, I'll accept these. 201 or 202 Aberdeen to Ballater, 292 Aberdeen to Methelick, 62 Aberdeen to Ellen, 10A Aberdeen to Inverness or Huntly. Right. 10A. Number 10 sounds it's doable in a day. 10A, I need to look at that. But I will accept all those. I have screenshotted them, and I will save the screenshot and I'll send them off to Aaron. And if he wants to join me for one of these routes, we'll do that. But we're doing the West Hill Circular on Tuesday. We don't want to do anything too heavy at the moment because we don't want to be doing too much and burning ourselves out before Penzance. Stuart Wilson says, Ember said it can't officially register with a calendar stop until the end of June due to council problems. But CityLink started up Edinburgh to Fort William a week after Ember and got calendar, so I don't know. I don't know about that either. I was quite surprised because I thought Ember might have stopped there, because I thought they might have went into the... I'm wondering what stop they're going to actually serve. I think they'll probably just stop at the War Memorial, because I think that's where CityLink stops there, and I think they also stop at the car park where the public toilets are, where the 59 terminates. Scottish Transport Vid says the 10 used to be done by a Volvo Panthers 2011 plates, but sadly not anymore. That's right, I remember that. Then they got replaced by Elites in 2017, 67 plate ones. And I've seen a few Evoras doing 10 all the way to Inverness. Would I do a number 10 on an Evora? Absolutely. I love these buses, I really do. And when Aaron and I come back from Penzance, we're actually looking at doing something quite special for the channel. It won't be a full route video, it won't be like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours long. It might be around maybe an hour long, but we're looking to do Glasgow to Aberdeen and Edinburgh to Aberdeen without using CityLink or Ember. So it's public buses only. A friend of mine set this challenge for me, and I thought, okay, that would be a tricky one, but I've got something figured out. We can use dual carriageways and motorways if the public service bus uses them as part of its route, but I've got something worked out. And a friend of mine actually emailed me the other day and said, would you be willing to do calendar Inverness? But I'm struggling to work out how Inverness would be doable, but I do think it would work. I'll explain in a moment. Stuart says, it's the War Memorial, yeah, it's on their website. And he says, CityLink don't stop at the War Memorial, though. Oh, okay, they must only stop at the public toilets. Because I've seen the 978 advertised on the bus shelter there. I remember when I did the video for the C60. I enjoyed doing that video on the C60, but I was a bit surprised when a Ford Transit minibus turned up. I was expecting maybe a Mercedes Sprinter like what Glenn Farg has got, or at the very biggest, maybe a Solo. But I was quite surprised when that turned up. Scottish Transport Vid says, I was up in Buckie today and I was very stupid because when I was on my way back to Fraserburgh from Buckie, I seen a stagecoach MX11 and Viral 200 in Banff on the 35 from Aberdeen to Elgin. Okay. I know there's a few of them in Inverarmond, and I think a few have gone to St Andrews for the what's that route 99. I'm not entirely sure where they've gone after that. I'm not sure. I noticed in Falkirk they're using the Yutong E12s on the number 1 route a lot, from Dunnypace to Madison. So maybe next week sometime I might go over there and we could do the number 1 route. Yeah, maybe. I've got an itchy nose. But I'm keen to get the Falkirk Council funded routes out the way before I do any more over there. I know I've got quite a few routes that need finishing, and I think when we come back from Penzance I might be focusing on that. Seriously, Stirling Council have made a massive mistake though. They have the new Edinburgh to Fort William service listed at War Memorial on the paper timetable, but it doesn't stop. So it drove right past me. Yeah, they've maybe put the timetable information up early, but it's way too early. It's about 3-4 weeks early. And he says the council just got it completely wrong. Doesn't surprise me, to be honest. These things happen. But yeah, it's going back to what I was talking about. Glasgow to Aberdeen by public bus. And Stuart says, I meant the CityLink, sorry, not the Ember. Okay, right. What am I talking about? Glasgow to Aberdeen using only a public bus. I've worked out how that can be done. X36 from Glasgow to Stirling. Then you can do Docherty's number 20 to Auchterarder, followed by the number 19 to Perth. Although between Stirling and Perth you could also do Stagecoach 15A. When you reach Perth, you've got a choice of a 16 or a 57 to Dundee. Then you can use the 72 or 73 if you're brave enough to Arbroath. Take the number 40 from there to Montrose. Then you've got a 107 to Stonehaven and number 8 to Aberdeen. It will be similar from Edinburgh, but I'll get to that in just a moment. Stuart says the Fort William CityLink is only the public Fort William CityLink is only the public toilets, and the Oban CityLink is every stop except War Memorial. I wonder why that is. I've only used the 978 between Edinburgh and Stirling because it's quicker than the 909 and it saves going down Bowness. Part of the reason why I use it sometimes, but the I've taken it all the way to Oban before, because there's a video on this channel of the 978. I've done it in full. Very nice run. Really enjoyed it. The first time I attempted to do it, though, unfortunately the video failed, and I stayed overnight in Oban, and I had to put up with someone with the television blaring away at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was not in the best of moods, let's just say, the following morning. So I'd done the journey back to Edinburgh. The video then managed to get up on the channel. So I thought, okay, I just need to do it one way back up to Oban then. So I redid the video a few weeks later and stayed in the same place again. Because Oban's quite expensive, and some places were charging £90, £100 a night. But this place is only charging £30 a night. It was a Clarendon hotel. And it was one of the best night's sleeps I've ever had. Total silence. So I've always been the type of guy who'll say, give something a second chance. I believe in giving second chances. Sometimes third, fourth and fifth, and etc, etc. But yeah, I do believe in that sort of thing. Stuart says it's a bit of a cheek from CityLink starting an Edinburgh to Fort William route a week after Ember following pretty much the same route, minus Dunblane. I suppose it's just competition though. Oh yeah, you mean the 912, I think it is. There was a misprint on the 912. I noticed it online, and it was saying, now I don't know if I've maybe got the route number wrong, but I think it was 912, and it said on the misprint it was going to go from Edinburgh up the M90 to Perth, and then straight up to Inverness, cut across to Portree, and then back down to Fort William. It was going to take over 8 hours. And I'm like, bloody hell, that's going to be the longest CityLink route in Scotland, or in the UK. That's the only way to go for a shortcut. But it turned out it was just a misprint. Because when I saw it, I thought, I fancy taking that on. An 8-hour YouTube video? Then I thought, nah, there must be something wrong with this. But yeah, it was definitely a misprint. Transport Vid says, when will you do a Scottish North Scotland route 270? Quite small, but decent. Takes about 40 minutes each way. Which is it takes about 40 minutes, which is the full one that goes through New Aberdare when going back to Fraserburgh. 270. I didn't even know there was a 270, to be honest, mate. I didn't even know about that one. I'll screenshot this one again. Hope you don't mind. And once I've finished doing this live stream, I'll have a look at it, and I'll maybe put a wee community post up on the channel later on. And just hear someone running past the front window there. But I'm on the upper level. I live on the first floor. Stuart says CityLink just shoved the route on after Ember with no preparation as well. The driver was asking me for directions. Well, to be honest, I've done that before. I'll tell you a little story about that. I'm going back to like the mid-noughties here when I was at college, which was not just yesterday. I used to go to college over in Falkirk. I was living in Alba at the time, and I was still living at home with my parents, well, with my mum, because my dad lives through in Fife now, and we're coming back from Falkirk. It was Stagecoach had the 15A route from the Dunfermline depot, and they were being operated by Plaxton Pointed Darts. I absolutely hate Plaxton Pointed Darts. Absolutely hate them. And it was one of the 52 plate ones, one of the LV 52 ones that they had at Dunfermline years ago, with no legroom whatsoever. The driver had absolutely no clue of the route. I used to leave Falkirk bus station, cut down past the college, go in through Skinflats, over Kincardine Bridge, and then into Kennet, Clackmannan, and then Alloa. But it would go around the scheme in Clackmannan. So here's me, standing down the front of the bus, giving the guy directions, saying, like, you take this next left here, pal, take the first right, first left, etc, etc. And when we got to Alloa, I said to him, well, I take it you'll remember that going back the way. And of course, I didn't have YouTube back in them days. Or else I would have had the route on video, and I would have had it up on the channel. But yeah, it was. I was quite surprised I actually managed to remember the route. But yeah, that's one of my claim to fame with Stagecoach. Not that there's very many of them. But yeah, going back to what I was. Oh, we'll go back to that in just a second. Scottish Transport Vid says, I'm headed to Aberdeen on Monday with my cousin. My main thing to do is catch a First Aberdeen 25 plate street deck and First Aberdeen Gemini, or a Stagecoach North Scotland Enviro, or 400 MMC. Oh, you'll see loads of 400 MMCs, mate. And if you want to catch a Stagecoach 400 EV, just look at the 77 route. That's my advice. It is loaded with electric vehicles. But they do stray out onto other routes as well. The 59 gets EVs. So does the West Hill Elric run. Numbers 5 and 6. What other ones? Can't think. Sometimes the 9 gets electric Stagecoach ones. But it's mostly the 727 and the 5 and the 6 and 59. Because Arden asked me, could an Enviro 400 EV do an X7 all the way to Dundee and back? And I thought, well, yes, on a full charge it could. From Aberdeen to Dundee, and it would probably get back to Aberdeen as well, going the exact same route. But I don't think it would have much charge left in it. I don't know how the charge on these things works, you see. I'm still trying to work it out. But talking about working things out, Edinburgh to Aberdeen, without using CityLink or Ember or Megabus or any of these ones, it's doable. And it's actually very similar to what I described from Glasgow to Aberdeen. Stagecoach X54 to Dundee, then 72 or 73 to Arbroath, 40 to Montrose, 107 up to Stonehaven, and then an X7 or 8, whatever, into Aberdeen. Or another way you could do it is take the X55 to Dunfermline. Then, from there, actually, no, you wouldn't take the X55 to Dunfermline. You could take the X56 to Perth and then take a 16 or 57 to Dundee. Inverness, I'm still working that one out, but you could go up to Aberdeen and take the 10 or the M96 all the way across to Inverness. That's one way you could do it. But going via the A9, I'm still working that one out, so let me get back to you on that. Scottish Transport Vid says the most daft thing I've seen on X7 was a Stagecoach East Scotland 27607. The daftest thing I ever seen on an X7 was actually one of, well, it's maybe not the daftest thing, but one of the rarest. It was one of Dunfermline's Paxton Panthers. One of the X55 Paxton Panther B8s. It was on loan about a year or two ago. In fact, I think it was about 2, maybe 3 years ago, actually, now I think on it. And I would think the daftest thing I've seen on an X7 was a solo. And I'm not joking. I don't think it was doing full length X7 to Aberdeen. I hope it wasn't. I don't know if as much as I like the wee solos, I don't know if I fancy taking one from Dundee all the way to Aberdeen on a X7. But I'd rather do it on one of them than an interdeck. I'm sorry, I just don't like interdecks. I'm nearly 6'5", and I'm always banging my head on them. Always. Now that we're talking about getting to... Yeah, it's got me thinking now. Getting to Inverness without using CityLink or Ember from Glasgow and Edinburgh. Tricky. I was going to suggest going up to Fort William and then cutting across that way, but I forgot you'd be using CityLink or Ember. Yeah, so that idea's going to hit the scuds. Boss Boy says, Alba, how you doing, buddy? Haven't heard from you for a little while. Stuart Wilson says, another thing with... Stuart Watson, I beg your pardon, says, another thing with Ember, I think for an Oban route, they start a Glasgow to Oban via the 81 Strathblane Aberfoyle would be good. It would fill a gap, definitely. I totally agree. Yeah, it would. It would. I just noticed your comment there. Sorry about that. He says, why did you forget a single green bus fleet number on that Facebook post? I honestly don't know, mate. Honestly don't know. Having said that, I did see Ryan yesterday in Falkirk, SN65 OMD, working the number 5 route from Hall Glen to Langleys. That's possibly a route I could do for the channel, but that would probably take about maybe an hour return. It's not a long one. It's about 25 minutes, pardon me. Busboy says that was 2839. I had 0439, or was it 0459? Coming back from Stirling tonight. Stuart says Aberfoyle has never had a Highlands route. It has Glasgow and Stirling, but that's it. It used to have the Trossachs Explorer, the TEX1, but I don't think McGill's are doing that this year. I certainly haven't heard anything or seen anything about it. Bossboy says 2837 and 2831 is there too, and burnt 4113. Oh, that's... Is that one of the Enviros? One of the YX65PX ones, like PXE or PXF? They came from Dundee. I didn't know they were still... lying up the back of the depot. I'll need to try and maybe organise a little trip sometime to actually get some pictures or maybe some videos at Bannockburn and Albert depots. I was hoping to do that by Pictures Tours, but obviously that ain't going to happen now, because Aaron asked me to email them, and I'll admit I totally forgot. I'm on my laptop at the moment, but streaming on my phone. So let's have a look and see what the 730-52 was, because that's the one that I got. I'll be able to tell you in just a minute. Stuart says, well, yeah, I forgot about that one, but that's not the Highlands like Oban to Fort William. Yeah, that's true. It's the gateway to the Highlands, is what I'll say. Some people say Stirling's the gateway to the Highlands. Some people say it's Perth, but I think it's Stirling, personally. The gateway to the Trossachs. That's for sure. Right, what did we have? I'm on bustimes.org at the moment. Vehicles. Well, going into Stirling this morning, I had SN15LKC, which is fleet number... I haven't got my fleet number book out, so I can't look at it. SN15, where is it? 8055. And coming back tonight, I had 0439 SN64CKP Streetlight. Or as Aaron would say, it's your favourite, it's your favourite. Yeah. Right. 4111 was in the pack, says Busboy. Okay. 4113 was living in my depot with 2848. He says, you better do a live. Well, that'll be on Tuesday, I imagine he's talking about. So I can write down every bus who has a joiner team. I could try and find out from you. I could possibly contact McGill's about that and find out which all the numbers for vehicles that have joiner team on them. I could possibly try. There's no guarantee that I'll find out, but no harm in asking. 8055, says Busboy. Then he said, you said 59. Beans, he says. Now, you know what they say. Pick up a tin of beans and say beans means, you know, beans give you wind. Well, they do with me anyway, that's for sure. Stuart says, thanks again, Stirling Council. Probably won't like it since they fund the X10A. Ember coming in with better coaches, so kill the X10A probably. Balfron would definitely be a no-go. I could imagine a T14 or T12 would probably get into Balfron. It would be a very tight turn though if it was going anywhere near where the first depot is in Balfron. You know, they've got a little, very, very small depot there. It'd be a very tight turn at the top of that street, I can assure you. I know none of the buses actually go up that road in service because they run through the centre of the village. When I was recording the X10A full route Glasgow to Stirling video, a bit embarrassing for me to admit to this, but I had to take a break in filming. There was about a 10-minute sitting time there, and I had to quickly run into the gents' toilets. I'm not saying what for, but I was bursting, let's just say. Busboy says Stalinga. Okay. He said, you said my favourite. You know what my favourite was. That exact bus, you mean Miguel's. It's not first bus anymore. You should know better. Yeah, I should do. But I don't. It's like saying Stagecoach East Scotland. It's Fife Scottish. Well, it was when I was born. It's not anymore. It's still Midland Bluebird. It's not first Midland Bluebird anymore. It's McGill's Midland Bluebird. Right, Stuart says, no, I mean like Stirling Council McGill's probably wouldn't let Ember into Balfron. I don't know if McGill's could actually stop them from doing that, to be honest. I think the council probably could. I don't think McGill's could. No, because if McGill's are only running the service that the council pays to operate, yeah, I don't think McGill's would have a say in that, personally. It was a shame that Clackmannanshire Council pulled the service on the C2 bus that used to run from Glenocle all the way up to Tillicoultry. It used to run around the north side of Tillicoultry, but then they stopped it, and now Tillicoultry north side has got no service at all. And if you're not able to walk to the main road to get a bus, well then you're facing one option, and it's called taxi. But I mean, the 23 could do that. You know, the little Glenfarg one that could come into Tillicoultry, turn right and go up round the top, emerge out onto the high street, down to Murray Place, and then go down into the, what's it called, Stellan Mills. But I mean, it's probably a good idea it goes into Stellan Mills, because the drivers are getting a chance to go to the toilet, get a coffee, or maybe something to eat if they're feeling hungry. But it's annoying when you're standing at Murray Place waiting to get a bus up to Kinross and it's going down to Murray Place. But I understand it and I respect that they do that, because Glenfarg are a very, very good operator, and it's just a shame they only have 2 routes. Busboy says, point of view, when Stagecoach grabs Alba Galavanter's YT Stagecoach. We're bleeping you, we're bleeping got you now, Alba. This will teach you a lesson for recording our buses. Stabs Alba Galavanter. Yes, we killed him. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. But, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Stuart says it would just skip Balfron, Sember could go Glasgow, Mulgai, Strathblane, Aberfoyle, and then join Callander for the main road up to Oban. Yeah, that's true. Busboy says, I was joking, mate. I know when someone's joking when they're not. Stuart then says, for some weird reason, I think they probably have just planned knowing Ember, but I don't know. But, it's just, I just had a thought. Another route Ember could do, they probably won't, I can't see it happening, but it might. I didn't see Inverness to Aberdeen being one that they would consider. Busboy says, Alba, please do not read Tojo's comment, I'll place in. Okay. Well, I'll just read comments out, so everyone knows what everyone's saying. It's just in case you don't see it on the actual YouTube screen that you're watching on, whether it's your phone or that. It's just something I've always done, something I'll always do. But I didn't think Ember would do Inverness to Aberdeen, but E7 is now confirmed. It starts on the 5th of June. But another route they could possibly do, Edinburgh to Galashiels, maybe, down through the borders. Because, what's the name of that operator that does that? Houston's mini coaches. And they use like Volvo Evoras, and it's the 101 and the 102 that run all the way from Edinburgh to Dumfries. I would love to do that route someday for the channel. And coming up this summer, we'll be doing it. Busboy says, no looking at other bus companies' routes in the halls. 15 seconds, scrappy for you. When will you learn? Stuart then says, Busboy, what are you waffling on about? Sometimes I wonder that myself, to be honest, mate. I just let him talk away. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. I just realised I've got the TV on here in the background. It's on mute, and it was the Scotland women's game against Austria. I don't mind watching women playing football. Don't mind that at all. I'm not going to say any more, because I don't want to get into trouble with YouTube. But finished 1-0 Austria the last time I heard. How did the... Ah, damn it. Press the wrong button. I wonder how the England team got on. Right, it's on ITV4. It looks like quite a bit. It was 5-0 last I heard. Anyway, Busboy says that Ember is copying an X10, and Stuart says, oh, I'm just wondering, Ember still has their E10 that they use for taking the E3s and E1s back to their depot to be charged up. I think they're using E10 as like a way that the buses are not running empty. I've done E10 with Aaron both ways, and it was good. Short route, but it was good. So I've got quite a lot of Ember stuff coming up on the channel over the course of the summer. Also coming up, I'm planning to do the 912 from Edinburgh to Fort William. In fact, that gives me an idea. When we come back from Penzance, this actually might work out. I need to look at a timetable. How about I start off by doing 912 Edinburgh to Fort William, and then finish off E4, back to Edinburgh. Makes sense, doesn't it? I can then travel up to Fort William again a couple of days later once I had a bit of rest, and do the E4 back to E5 back to Glasgow. I'm still getting these route numbers mixed up. It takes me a little while to get used to these, but it's doable. Makes sense in my opinion. But Stuart says, don't bother with the 912, it's the exact same as Ember. Well, it's a different route, you know? It's a different route. I don't mind doing that. It doesn't bother me. If a route's requested, if it's doable for me, I'll do it. I'll still have one ongoing that I need to finish off, and it's been waiting for months. X18, Berwick-on-Tweed to Newcastle, because I'm hoping to expand more into England this year. X18, trust me, is a long one. It's over 4 hours. I've done Berwick to Newcastle on it. Well, Newcastle to Berwick. I've done that, and then I did a 253 up to Edinburgh, and let's just say it took me 7.5 hours to travel 115 to 120 miles. And the only thing that was on my mind when I got to Edinburgh was just getting on the next coach back to Stirling. In fact, I also thought, I have done the 909. Yes, I have. I've done all the 900s, 902s, air route as well to the airport. Aaron and I are talking about doing M9s when we come back as well. He said to me, he says, but it stops in Stirling after a certain time, doesn't it? And I said, well, yes, it does. So we've got a plan for that. We're going to do Glasgow to Aberdeen direct during the daytime and back, and then we're going to do a nighttime one as well. I don't normally do nighttime routes on this channel, but that's going to be a different one. Now, I'm just having a look at his comments here. Stuart says, the 912 stops nowhere between Edinburgh bus station and Ratho, though. It currently says Edinburgh Airport on the timetable, but that's wrong. They're not allowed into the airport, apparently. Oh, okay. And it's been skipping it. Busboy says, Alba, will you do my route? What route was that one again? F2, right. I've got something to tell you about the F2. I'll tell you in just a moment. Stuart then says, it's the only city link that doesn't stop at all between the bus station and Ratho station. Yes, that's right, actually. I can't think of any other one that does. Busboy says F2 Falkirk to Caldercrooks, but to Lime Rig. Also, when you have heard from me, also, why don't... What is he saying? I need to clean the display on this phone of mine. Also, why DM by you haven't heard from me in a while? I thought I hadn't heard from you on the channel in a little while, buddy. That was all. My apologies. My apologies. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, right. I know what the likes of LOL and LMAO means and stuff like that. But I thought I hadn't heard from you in a little while on the channel. My mistake. Stuart says, since that's the case, it's been going up Queensferry Road and back down to Rathel, which is nice and quiet. Ah, okay. Sounds good. I haven't used 912. I've seen it once. Where did I see it? I think it was on the M9 heading into Edinburgh. I was on 909 heading to Stirling, if I remember rightly. I think. I was at 978 I was on. It was one of the two of them. But, yep, the busboy says, wait, Alba, one question. Okay, fire away, mate. The only reason why you haven't heard from my comments was because you kept doing Stagecoach. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up with a lot of requests at the moment, and I've got round about 13 to 14 requests now. So that's going to be keeping me busy throughout June. Quite a lot, actually, needing done. I'm not planning to do much in the way of live streaming through in Fife, like Dunfermline bus station, because that's getting boring now. I've been through there often enough. I'm back through there again tomorrow, actually, because I just want to finish off 3 routes. If I can get them done and dusted, out the way, I'll be saying, Halle bleeping Luya. Right, the F2 that I was talking about. I'm planning to do that tomorrow, not tomorrow, next Saturday, between Falkirk and Limerick, both ways. I will also be doing, potentially, the number 2 from Falkirk Hospital, Forth Valley Hospital, to Bowness and back, and either 2A or the F14 and F14A. I haven't quite worked out a timetable yet, but F2 is definitely on the channel for next Saturday. That's definite. I already planned that the other day. I've still got the F25 to upload. It's on my phone at the moment, but I'll do that as soon as I've done this live stream. And I don't know how long I'm going to be on. I mean, I don't have anything I need to rush off for. I'm happy to talk to you guys all night if need be. He says, Busboy then says, why do you care about Stagecoach and not McGill's? I didn't say I don't care about McGill's. I just haven't done much in the way of their stuff, like full routes on their routes recently. Most recent one I did was last week, and that was the S60. I made a start on the H1 again because I wasn't happy with the footage that I got. So I made a start on it and decided to do that one again. Might finish that one off tomorrow as well, actually. Or I might leave that till next week sometime. We'll see. Sorry, I was just having a drink. Right, let's see what the comments are saying. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Stuart says that Busboy, I don't watch many route videos, but he does seem to like Fife a lot with the routes. Yeah, I don't, believe it or not, I don't watch back many of my videos. I don't. Although I did watch my previous stream from this one back earlier on because there was a reason behind it and I felt like I had to do it. And I'm satisfied with what needs to be done. But yeah, I mean, I'm considering sometime towards the end of June, Glasgow to Campbelltown, 926 I think it is. And I was having a look at some stuff down the borders, because I haven't done much down in the borders. And I would like to do more down there. To me, it doesn't really matter who the operator is. I mean, if it's going to be boring, I do apologise. But obviously, doing a lot of full-length routes in one area, it's going to get boring after a short time. So that's why I'm trying to alternate it between east, central, west, north and south. but I've got to be practical when it comes to doing north ones, because getting back down from the Highlands can be quite difficult after a certain time at night. Busboy says I have a lot of bus spotting videos from Bo'ness. I might try Bo'ness actually sometime, see what it's like. And he says, I guess that they all are. Okay. B7RLE's right eclipse 2. So, well, mainly the number 2 is that. The right eclipse urbans do mainly get used on the 2, 2A, H1, X38. There was one on the X37 to Glasgow today, actually, because I had to take the X36 back to Stirling due to my CityLink not turning up. Apparently there'd been a bad accident somewhere, which is always a shame. I don't like that sort of thing. Stuart then says, I like watching some of your route videos for certain scenic bits, but I couldn't sit through a 3-hour video. I don't have time. I would imagine a lot of people are the same way, mate. I certainly couldn't sit through a full-length route video, but that's nothing compared to what Aaron and I are doing next week when we're going to Penzance. I'm doing a full-length route video of the train journey. And I ain't joking when I say that. That's going to be nearly 13 hours long. It'll be the longest video I've ever done, and the longest I'm ever likely to do. I must be mad, but we're going to be sharing the filming, so you might see yours truly on the video. I don't really tend to appear much on my videos. I don't really like having my picture taken, if I'm being honest. Stuart then says, but it's good that they exist, good scenery, and good for drives as well. Good for drivers as well. That's one of the reasons why I do them. Is because if a new driver's starting working with, I don't know, say Ember, for example. If a driver's starting with Ember, he wants to learn E1. I've done E1 all the way to Bridgetown and back. It's on the channel. E3, it's on the channel. E3X, Dundee to Glasgow, still has to be done, but I'm doing that on Monday. Because then I'm planning to finish off that 22 from Braehead down to Silverburn. And once I've done that, I'm nipping down to Ayr, as I've got a few West Scotland routes that I want to do down there. I want to do some more down in that area. And Busboy says, did she have a... oh, sorry, I missed your comment before that. See, when you had 0439 as your return home, did she have a draw in her team by any chance? I didn't actually notice that, to be honest. I don't think so. And Stuart says, and I wanted to see the E4 just because I haven't been up to Fort William way in a while. Well, I'm actually starting to do some Shields buses as well. I did the well, it's known as the N42, but it was just displaying 42 on the front of the bus. I wanted to go a bit further, maybe out towards Invercarry. Now, I don't know that area at all. That area is completely blank to me. But I was having to be sensible with the bus times and the fact there had been a very serious accident on the 82 northbound. So I couldn't really do much about that. But this coming Thursday, once I've done the E5 from Glasgow, I'm doing the 500 to Mallaig. And they say that's one of the most beautiful scenery routes that you can do. I've never seen it. I've never travelled on it. It's not an area that I know. So we'll give it a go. I love an adventure. And I love a challenge. Archie says, hiya, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing all right. Busboy says, Kincardine is where the H3 operates, and that's right, yes. Slightly embarrassing for me to actually say this, but H3 is not really doable for me, because I'd have to get over to Larbert Hospital for 10 to 5 in the morning, and that would mean probably paying for a taxi, which would be about £30 to £35, or have an all-nighter in Larbert. Yeah, I'd imagine that would go down well. And the return journey would be from Dollar at about 11:30 at night back to Larbert, and then once again I'm paying for a taxi. So I'm afraid H3 might not be feasible for me, I'm afraid. Which is a shame. Busboy Archie says, any update about the 107? Yes, Aaron and I are looking at the end of June for that one. We've got a collaboration day planned for Montrose train station, and I think we're going to do the 107 on that very day. I don't know if Aaron's watching or not. He finished work at 9 o'clock tonight, so he might be on his way home by now. But he'll probably watch the stream later on. I can't believe I've been streaming for 55 minutes. It was only meant to be a 5-minute one. But I'm just in that type of mood tonight and everybody's having a conversation, so I don't mind. And Busboy says, and before you say it will be the mics, before you say it, will the mics be involved? Probably not. I'm going to say no. I've got them sitting in front of me. I don't know if you can hear that. That's the box that they're in. One of them's out of charge at the moment, the other one's in the kitchen on charge. I might be using them on Sunday because I'm going to Bridgeton Bus Museum and I'm charging them just in case. Busboy says, if so, then I might not take part. Well, I'm going to say that they won't be getting used. I'm going to say no, but I'll probably have them with me anyway, just in case. Archie then says, you better keep a good eye for the 107 for time. The time is a nightmare. Okay, that's something that I will bear in mind. And Stuart says, Shields buses do the 912 for CityLink, by the way. That's right, they do. They also do some 914s as well. I've travelled with them on 914s. Because the driver who was on the 42 on Tuesday was telling me that he's on 914s today. And Busboy says, all I see is that blackness. Well, it's just something that I sit in the dark at home all the time. It's just something that my place is not the tidiest, I'll be honest. I'm not the tidiest person and I'm a bit embarrassed to admit to that. But yeah, it's not the tidiest. I need to get this place tidied up a little bit. It's not like dirty as in... It's not dirty as in like dirty at all. But Archie says, I had a breaking today. Route 30A to Arborough, Stagecoach 27614. Ah, okay. Busboy says, why don't you turn on the light? I could do. And he says, wait, are you scared in case the bulb goes boom, boom, boom again? Ah, very funny, very funny. If anyone else is wondering what he's talking about, I went to put the light on in the bedroom a couple of nights ago. In fact, I think it was about a week ago, and the bulb blew, and I just about shat myself. Having said that, that nearly happened to me again today in work. I was in the on-air studio, but we've got tube lights in the on-air studio. And I think that's my neighbour's intercom buzzer going. That's not mine, anyway. It'd have been a lot louder if it was. Anyway, and my boss randomly walked in, and Aztec Camera song was playing, you know, one somewhere in my heart. And I'm sitting there singing it out loud to myself with the headphones on, unaware that my boss had actually come into the studio. And he started clapping his hands. And I'd literally just turned on the song there and I literally shit myself. I wasn't expecting him. I wasn't expecting to see him there. But yeah, we'll be doing... There's actually a route in Fort William. I saw this the other day. And I think I've spoke about it before. And there's one route I really do want to do. 918, Fort William to Oban, West Coast Motors. So that gives me an idea. Once Ember's got their Glasgow to Oban route started, I'll do Glasgow to Oban with Ember, do a 918 up to Fort William and back, and then Ember back to Glasgow. I don't know if that'll be doable in a day. I'd need to read the timetable and work that out, but I like the sound of that. Archie says, it's been over a year since my favourite bus got discounting at Stagecoach 27600. Do you know the reg number of that one by any chance, mate? Because I'm still not overly familiar with fleet numbers. 27600, I'm putting that into my laptop. Ah, MX570EL, by the looks of it. Unless I'm reading that wrong. Enviro 300, previous reg used to be 284BLU. Last tracked on the 17th of April last year, doing a 16B. That's according to bus times anyway. Busboy says, Alba, did it get the Glasgow flying? Ah, very good, very good. My singing would actually smash any windows, to be honest, because I can't sing to save myself. And I was in a good mood on Wednesday when I was at work, and I thought it'd be a good idea to film myself miming the Elvis song, Can't Help Falling in Love. I don't know if I should stick that on the channel. No, probably not, because I get a copyright warning for the music. And then I'd make a complete and utter idiot of myself. But then again, I'm good at doing that sort of stuff. Busboy then says, or did it go white? Ah, very good. Archie says, yeah, that's right. 0409 broke down on the 312 and had to get 0420 to replace it. 312. Ah, right, 312, yeah. I wasn't aware of that route, if I'm being honest. SK63KKO. A street light breaking down? That never happens much. Like 312, where does that go? Let's have a look at that. Put in 312 on bus times and I'm getting all the 312s in the country, including Arriva London. 312. Oh yeah, Coatbridge to Calder Crooks. I've forgotten they'd done that route. I forgot about that. So tracking one bus at the moment. SN64CJZ 0448. That was doing an F2 earlier on, and then according to this it did an F2, then did a 35, then F2. It must do F2 35s all day. Busboy says, my bulb went 3 times in my room. I had a similar problem a couple of years ago, before I got the channel. I put a new bulb in my bedroom and the light blew about 2 days later. So I put another bulb in it and then that blew again. I thought, there's something wrong here. I thought, that's 3 bulbs that have blown in the space of 4 days. And so I phoned my landlord. They got an electrician to come out. And it turns out there was a faulty fuse. You know, the bit where the cable goes into the ceiling? They took that bit down and realised there was a broken fuse or something in there that runs to the fuse box. I'm not an electrician, so I thought I would let Sparky do what he does best. I suppose to be an electrician it takes the right spark, doesn't it? Yeah. I should be a bin man actually, with a bin lorry and recycle all these jokes. Chuck them out. Busboy says, so I had to get an LED one. I've got an LED light beside of my bed actually. Takes 3 AA batteries. McGill's West operated it before we did. Ah, okay. That's the 312 route. Archie then says there was a right on the 52 today. 52 is Montrose Town Service. They had a fight because of a vape. It was a 74 plate solo, and I was on the bus. Well, believe it or not, something similar happened on the X36. We had just come off the M80 motorway. We were going in through Hags towards Denny, and the driver stopped at a bus stop, as you do. He then turned the bus off and got out the cab and went up to the upper deck, because the City Swift ones are double deckers, 400 MMCs. And he called out, I don't care who is doing it, I'm not pointing at anyone, but the bottom deck of this bus is stinking of vape smoke. So whoever's vaping, quit it, or you'll be off at the next stop. And I'm sitting down there going, I can't smell anything. I couldn't smell anything. And I've got quite a good sense of smell. But yeah, I applaud them personally. I mean, I don't smoke, I don't vape. You know, I don't have a problem with someone vaping if I'm standing next to them in the street. I'd rather have them vaping than smoking, if I'm being honest. Stuart says, I desponded, but I'm back now. Oh, you desponded? Oh, that's not so good. No, that's happened to me a few times, actually, because that's part of the reason why I don't like doing live streams like this one when I'm actually doing full-length bus routes, because the signal goes and then it buffers and then it spoils the video for you guys, and it makes me annoyed as well. That's why I prefer doing them recorded. Yesterday, for example, when I did the F25, a very enjoyable run, quite a long one actually at that. But every so often I kept pulling the little bar down on my phone to check the signal, and in some cases it was saying 1 bar, and in some cases nothing at all, especially up round about the likes of Readings and Brightons, and what's that place called just south of there, Wallastone, on the bike road up to California. Not an area of Falkirk that I know very well, but I actually had a friend that used to stay in California. We kind of lost touch. I haven't been in touch with him for I don't know how long. I don't even know if he still lives at the same address. I've got an address for him, but I don't know if he still lives there. One way to find out, go over there or pop a letter in the post. Archie says, I'm going to bed as I'm doing the 38 up road from Montrose High Street, which is the bus at 7:15. See you Sunday. Okay, no problem at all, buddy. Have a good night. I'm probably not going to do anything live on Sunday at Bridgeton. I've got a terrible memory at the moment. I'm not planning to do anything live down there. It'll be recorded stuff, and we'll see what we can do. Tomorrow, as I said, I'm through in Fife. I probably won't be doing anything live tomorrow either, to be honest. I'm trying to save my data because I've got my data rolled over today, and I'm trying to save it for Penzance so that we can do quite a lot of live stuff down there. It's something that we're all looking forward to. Myself and Aaron can't wait. I left my work today about 5 o'clock. Came off here on the radio, and I thought to myself, I really could be doing with this holiday. And one of my mates texted me and said, are you sure you haven't burnt yourself out making YouTube videos? And I'm like, no, I wouldn't do that. If I feel like a day off, I take a day off. I set 1 day a week aside usually for a day off, because I know that I'll probably need it come that day. But I had one on, what day was it, Wednesday? I was still at work, but I wasn't doing any YouTube videos. So Stuart says, and what the vape thing, a lot of the Balfron drivers are a lot of Karens. Delayed the bus by 5 minutes to give a lecture about asthma because of one guy vaping, delaying the whole thing. Well, to be honest, I don't see what youngsters get out of vaping. I really don't. Taking one big breath in from some battery per device and then blowing out smoke. It's nicotine, I know, but it just doesn't appeal to me. Smoking anything doesn't appeal to me. Never smoked anything in my life. I've been drunk before. I thought it'd be a good idea when I was drunk last time at the office party that we had for the presenters at Cumbernauld last year. We were down in Ayr. We'd hired a venue down there. I thought it'd be a good idea to sing The Lion Sleeps Tonight and do the highest pitch voice I could do. Yeah, my boss has got it on record somewhere on his phone. Well, one of the bosses has. Embarrassing. But Stuart says, sure it doesn't justify making the bus late for one guy. No, sure, but it doesn't justify making the bus late because of one guy. That's true. That's true. The X36 was already running a little bit behind schedule when we got into Stirling, because I just missed the 51, which I could have got home, but the 51 goes a long way around for me. The 52 is a lot faster. It's about half the time. 52 takes about 25 minutes. For me, 51 takes close to an hour. So I prefer getting the quicker one. I don't mind taking the longer one if it's a freezing cold, rainy night and I just want to get home. Or if I miss one bus, it's a Sunday, mostly. I miss one bus into town, I don't mind waiting for one that goes a long way around. But yeah, it certainly doesn't justify it, I totally agree. Stuart then says, just got nicotine pouches, so you're not bugging everyone else, but that's what I do. I apologise. I don't mean to cause any offence to anyone, but I just don't understand why they want to do vaping and stuff like that, you know. I mean, I've never smoked, never vaped, been drunk, as I said. I've got a few family members who smoke. One who vapes as well. I don't mind people vaping in my house. I'm fine with that because I quite like the smell of some of the vapes. Some of them have got really nice smells, but I'm not asthmatic. I've got a friend who's asthmatic, so he can't be around anyone who vapes, or else he just starts coughing his lungs out, which is a real shame because I feel sorry for him. I genuinely do. But yeah, this live stream's actually gone quite well tonight. I'm very pleased. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm not going to close it just now. I'm happy to keep going as long as everyone wants to keep watching. You know? Considering it's now... Crikey, it's 10 past 10 already. 10:07 PM. Good grief. Stuart's just said, I'm just saying nicotine is addictive, but all 10-year-olds vaping on buses is just stupid. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It is. There's no need for it. I might have to jump onto YouTube pretty soon, actually, because I've got a CD here. When I was at work, I interviewed a local band called Kylo. Kyle is the lead singer, and I interviewed his brother Ryan, and they gave me the CD of some tracks. But it's not playing on my laptop for some reason. My older laptop's got a CD drive on it, and it's not playing on that. I put another CD in it, one that I'd bought myself of the Joy Division. They were an 80s rock band, and it played no problem. So I'm assuming it must be the disc. I tried putting it in my DVD player, it wouldn't play on that either. So hopefully Ryan's okay with me doing this. I might jump onto YouTube and download the tracks. Hey up, Freon, how's it going, mate? Did I miss you? As always, mate, as always. I'm making that sound a bit kind of weird now, aren't I? You're always welcome on the channel, mate. Everyone's always welcome here. He says, hey, big brother Alba, it's me, your little brother Pharaon. Did you miss me? Well, we're not actually related in real life, but you're always welcome here, mate. You're always welcome. I like the name of your channel, by the way. I wish I'd come up with something like that. I remember setting this channel up, and I was sitting in the Dunfermline bus station, because the channel will be 4 years old on the 15th of July. I was in Dunfermline one day. I can't remember what for. I think I was visiting a family member. And I was sitting there. My previous YouTube channel that I used to have was called Point of View. That got taken down because I used to upload TV programs onto that I'd had on DVD and video. I learned a valuable lesson from that. Never ever do that. Never. And I'm going back to programs like Sons and Daughters. What else was there? I think there was some Brookside as well, maybe. So I learnt a valuable lesson from that. Freeland says, did I tell you Ayr is so busy now because of summer and loads of buses too? That reminds me. I did hear it was busy down there, but that reminds me. I want to actually find out when the next stagecoach strike day is down there, because I was hearing that a Drawson depot were running the X77 for one day. And there were some rare ones on that, because I'm going to go through to Glasgow on one of their strike days. If I have to get a McGill's X36 through or jump on an Embury 3, I'll do it, not a problem. Might get some good rare pictures for that. Stuart says, we need plane videos, boss man. Edinburgh to New York full route. Might be a slight problem with Edinburgh to New York full route at the moment, mate. I don't have a passport, which is true because I don't. Aaron and I have actually got some plane spotting days planned for June and July. We're going to be staying overnight in Edinburgh. And we might even have a night out in Edinburgh. I know the Galavanter is not going to do YouTube live of him absolutely steaming drunk. That ain't going to happen. Freeland says, when you back down in Ayr, big bro? Next Tuesday, mate, because I'm doing E3X I'm actually starting from where I live. I'm going up to Dundee to do E3X to Glasgow. I'm nuts, I know. Then I'm going to go out to Braehead, 22 to Silverburn. From there, I'll just head straight to Ayr. So I'll catch an X8 up to the city centre, the next 77 down. What routes did I say I was going to do, though? That's the thing, I can't remember. I think I said the number 2 and the number 6, just some of the local air routes. Let me quickly jump on the channel and have a quick look. Yep, so I'm definitely going to be down that way. Where are we? This laptop is so damn slow. My tablet's in its little bag, but unfortunately it's out of juice at the moment. So I need to put some Iron Brew or Pepsi in it. I'm joking. I need to plug it in and put it on charge. Right, so it'll be under shorts. Let's have a look. I'm thinking it'll probably be, found them coming up next, Monday. Yeah, Monday's when I'm down in Ayr again. Sorry, not Tuesday. Tuesday's Aberdeen. Right, so we've got the number 6 from Boswell Park and the number 2 at the moment. If I can squeeze in any more, I will do. Possibly the 347 as well. Douglas Street to Rankinston, should I say. That's the plans anyway. So that's the number 2, number 6 and 347, all of them both ways. I will be doing some more First Glasgow stuff as well when I get back from Penzance. Someone has requested those. I made a start on them but I haven't finished them yet. I will get around to them, and I actually need to look through a lot of comments to find out who it was, because I know that there's been a few Stagecoach East Scotland requested routes as well, like the 95 from Leven to St Andrews. I don't know when these will be. I don't have dates for them, unfortunately, but I'm trying not to do too much East Scotland at the moment, because there is a lot of it on the channel, and it's kind of getting a bit boring even for me, you know. So I think any routes in Perth and that, I'll be giving them a hit on the head for a little while, maybe a few months. Freon says you should film a full day in Ayr. I don't know if I can do a full day down there, mate. I mean, I've been seeing the same vehicles several times. What I could probably do is see how early I can get down to Ayr someday and just finish off the rest of some routes down there. There is one I want to do. 585 from Ayr to Largs. Quite fancy doing that one. But we were talking about Shields buses earlier on in the stream, and there's, I take it that means if I'm Kenny Rogers, right, this is a joke, if I'm Kenny Rogers and I decide to do a live while I'm sailing through a group of islands, does that mean I'm doing islands in the stream? Quit it, Galavanter, quit the jokes, they're not funny. As Andy from Little Britain would say, no. Freon says I could help you look for buses on Stagecoach and tell you the names. We could maybe do that one day, possibly. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Might take you up on that. But yeah, Aaron's just sent me a voice note. I don't know if he's watching the live stream or not. He's probably not even noticed I'm doing this live stream actually at the moment. One of the longer live streams that I've done. I remember someone asked me that question one day. What is the longest live stream that I have ever done? And I'll be honest, I don't know. I think the longest one I did might have been at one of the train stations. Which one? It might have been Wallyford, because I think we live streamed for about 2.5 hours that day. Myself and Aaron. Freon says you should stream a full day in Ayr just for fun, mate. Come on. Don't think my data would allow it, and I don't think my battery on my phone would allow it either, because my power bank that I've got doesn't actually charge the phone properly when I'm doing a live stream, and it does run away with the charge. Stuart says, I forgot to ask earlier, why do you mute audio on buses with the radio on? It would be better to make no money from a video than have no audio. Well, I do that because I don't want any copyright warnings for music, because I've seen some other YouTubers get copyright warnings. I watch a guy called Scott from Planes, Trains, Everything. I also watch Steve Marsh. I'm a massive fan of both of them. And Scott had to mute a particular part of his, had a particular part of one of his videos that he had to cancel because of a Calvin Harris song that was playing on the radio. I don't know if it was the one with Rihanna or if it was one of his other hits, I don't know. But he was down near Stranraer and staying in a hotel. Quite a posh hotel. I think it was a converted lighthouse, if I remember rightly. And he got a copyright warning on it, so as a result, he had to re-edit the video. And with the amount of videos that I've got, I don't have time to download them and re-edit them and re-upload them and all that. I can edit them, I've got time to do that, but I don't have time to re-edit them and all that, because I would just create a massive backlog. Stuart then says, or stick some random royalty-free music on it. I have heard of that. You can get royalty-free music, but I'm not sure where. I will look into that, I promise. So that could be something. I would only use them though on routes that actually have a radio playing in the background. I wouldn't use it on anything else. Or possibly on my still pictures. You know, when I upload videos of my still images from a particular day bus spotting, would come in handy for that. Stuart then says you can just upload the video with the radio on and let YouTube copyright it. YouTube automatically gives you the option to mute the specific song that's causing a problem. Well, I don't really want all that hassle, you know, because I prefer just doing it the proper way, you know. I'm not saying no one else does it the proper way, but I will look into that royalty music that you were talking about. And that's a certainty. I'll look into that. I think I've had one copyright warning for one song, and I can't remember who it was by. It was a little while ago, but I did what you suggested and I muted the audio. I got YouTube to deal with that for me. So I think there was like maybe 3 or 4 minutes of total silence on that video, possibly. But I didn't really have time to redub it and then re-upload it. How's my battery doing for charge? I don't need to worry about data, obviously, because I'm in the house. I'm streaming on the Wi-Fi. I'm sitting at 51% battery. That's okay. Yeah, that's the main reason why I do that. He says, all I'm saying is have 5 minutes of silence is better than no audio at all. I agree. But what I think I'll start doing going forward from now is that I'll, instead of having just total silence on a video, I'll dub some music over it. Some of that free stuff that you were talking about. I promise I will look into that. Can't guarantee that there'll be, I don't know when there's going to be a video coming up that I'll need to do that on, but I could download some of it onto my laptop and keep it on the hard drive or keep it on a pen drive, because you never know when it might come in handy. I've seen other YouTubers using it, so don't see any reason why I can't. That's about the 4th or 5th voice note I've received for Aaron on WhatsApp. He obviously doesn't know that I'm still live streaming. I could maybe send him an email on my laptop, but I'm sure he'll find it soon enough. Stuart says, I think you can add royalty-free music to already uploaded videos using YouTube Studio Editor. I've got that on my tablet and I've got it on my phone as well. I could put it on my laptop actually as well. That's not a bad idea. Maybe someday when I'm having a day off, I could do that. Because I'm currently sitting at just over 14,300 videos on the channel, I know. And as I've always said, I don't care about the number of videos that are on it. The main fact is that you guys enjoy watching it, you know? Not everyone's got the time to watch a full 3, 4, 5 hour video. I get that. And I know that's why the shorter ones seem to get more views than full routes. But I'll still continue to make them. You guys want to see them? I'll still continue to do them. And Stuart says, because I watched a bit of your C60 video on the minibus and it felt weird with no sound. It did, because I watched it back on my TV. And I'm like, I actually said to myself, Galavanter, why did you not put sound over that? But that's something I will look into. C60 will be one of them. I might even have a good rake through the channel. I might even get Aaron to help me with this, because I know that he likes helping me with these things, and I'll tell him to tell me what videos I've got silence on them and what ones haven't. I'll get him to do maybe the first 2 years of the channel, or I'll do the first 2 years of the channel. He can do from then up to present. I don't know, we'd work it out somehow. I've just realised now TV4 still on my telly, and it's the motorbike racing it's on. What is it? Alba TT qualifying. I'm not really into motorbike racing, if I'm being honest. I don't mind it. I don't mind watching the Grand Prix on Sky Sports or stuff like that, but I'm not heavily into it. What else is on tonight? Billy Conley, 30 funniest. 30 funniest something. I think I'm recording that actually. Not much else. Anyway, back to the thingy. Also on the parts of the route videos I watch of yours, I always stick them on ×2 speed. Nothing wrong with that. Accidentally, when I was editing, I'll tell you a little story in just a minute once I've turned the channel over. There we go, that'll do. What I did was I made a mistake when I was editing a video one time, and it was a video of myself and Aaron having a conversation. And what happened was I put on ×2 or ×4 speed, and we both sounded like fast talking chipmunks. It's actually funny. And I thought to myself, should I stick that on the channel at that sort of speed and call it an accidental editor or something cut from the cutting room floor or something like that? But I didn't, I ditched it. Stuart says ×2 feels better. You can watch it ×2 if you want. I don't mind, mate. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I generally don't mind. You could watch it in ×2 reverse if you wanted to. Although that would look weird, seeing the bus going backwards. Reversing down the road. Reversing down the motorway. And Stuart says you got a terrible rainy day for the E4 though, unfortunately. Yeah, it was on and off all day. It wasn't the best. I got soaked coming at Edinburgh bus station trying to get over to the bus stop for the E4. We'll get the violins out, Galavanter. Because it stopped GM on George Street. And I went to stop GL because I seen the E1 T14 sitting there. And I thought, oh, is it this stop? Or is it across the street? I thought it's got to be across the street, surely. So I double checked with the driver, and the driver said, yeah, it's just across the road, pal. And, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I felt a bit tired when I got to Fort William, but then I knew I had a break for a couple of hours before doing the 42, so I thought I'll go and get a bite to eat, get a coffee, get up to cruising altitude. I'm just hoping that Monday's going to be a better day because I'm doing a lot of stuff on Monday. I'm doing a wee bit tomorrow as well, now I think on it, but I'm hoping that the weather's, in fact, I could check that actually, the weather for Monday. Make myself a bit more comfortable. Now, where are we? Google. BBC weather. I tend to use BBC weather. Or Met Office weather, I don't mind either or. Let's see what we've got for the weekend. I'll have a look at your comments in just a moment, guys, if you've left any. I'll catch up with those in a moment. Excuse me. I remember my granddad used to say, if you want to know what the weather's like, it'll be wet between the showers. Tomorrow is not looking too good, I'm afraid. Thundery showers and a moderate breeze. I'll be leaving the house probably about 9 o'clock, maybe a little bit later than that tomorrow. I might leave about 10. 60% chance of rain. Don't like the sound of that. And Sunday's not looking too good either. Mind you, we'll be indoors most of the time at Bridgeton. Monday's actually looking good, which I'm pleased about. Yep, let's get back to the comments, because I'm not a weatherman. Stuart says, I've always found Ember weird because of how quiet the electric buses are. You can hear everybody's conversations and they can hear yours. I can't say I've played back any of my Ember full-length videos from the channel, but that's something that maybe I should do. Let me see if I can find one. Let me jump on the channel. E1 full route. No, not full interview. Full route. I'll put Galavanter. Let's see what we've got. E1 bus route short. Oh, it's E1 route in London. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, very funny, very funny. Let me put in Edinburgh. That's what happens when I'm not on my tablet. If I'm on my laptop, it comes up with all this other stuff. Right, here we go. E12, Edinburgh to Dundee full route, that'll do. This is actually the video that I did. And then it stops playing after 1 second. Right, let me fast forward a wee bit till we're on the road. And now it's buffering. That's not my internet connection that's doing that. Yeah, you're right. You can hear some conversations. You're right. You can mainly hear the sound of the bus pounding the tarmac on the road. But you're right, you can hear some sound. And Stuart's just left another comment here. What's that? But with the weather the entire week before the day you filmed was really sunny and warm, and the day you filmed it goes all rainy. Welcome to Scotland, mate. That's what happens. It was really good doing a live stream down in Ayr when the sun was splitting the sky. I was having a little walk up the beach, and oh yeah, that reminds me, I will do that walk, the mile walk, I promise, from one end of Ayr Beach to the other. I will do that and I'll live stream that as well. Won't be this Monday, but I will live stream it. That's the promise. And I will take my socks off and go for a dip in the sea, but it'll be a bit cold, I reckon. But then again, I'm more Scotsman, less chicken, so I don't mind a bit of cold. Stuart says it's not necessarily when the bus is moving, but when it stops, no traffic lights or something, completely silent. Well, let me see if I can find a part where it is completely silent on this video, because I think you're right. I'm not going to find it when it's on the motorway, obviously. In town would be the best bet. Let's try this. Gogarburn, near the Liddell's roundabout. Yeah. Yep, you can faintly hear people talking in the background, yes. But I think the heating was on because that was 8 months ago that video was uploaded. What was the exact date? Let's have a look. 3rd of September 2024, so it might be air conditioning that was on. It may well have been. I've got 3 notifications on the notifications bell now. Just a few subscribers people who are subscribed to, whether they're subscribers to me or not, I don't know. What I could maybe do sometime is maybe do a little video. I'm not going to mention who all my subscribers are, but just give you a little shout out, possibly. Maybe do a shout out special or something, maybe, I don't know. Stuart says, I've got an example on the E4 when you stopped in the middle of Calendar for the lorry blocking the road. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that part. Actually, I apologise about the E4. I should be apologising to you guys because I hadn't had any breakfast and the driver was having a little bit of a joke with me. He says, "Are you enjoying your Pringles?" Because I was munching away like, and I kept eating them, and I ate a whole tin of Pringles on the way up to Fort William. Greedy fat pig that I am. Yeah, I just hadn't had any breakfast, and I was quite hungry when I got on the coach, and I thought, right, well, at least I've got these, I can munch on them. Well, that's the good thing about a T14 is there's no sound from them whatsoever. In fact, let me see if I can find that E4 full route. Well, it's still pretty recent on the channel, so it'll be easy to find. Here we go. E4, no views. Let's see. No, that's not right. It's got a few views on the channel already. My phone was saying it was sitting at about 35. It's now sitting at 60. Now that bit that you just briefly had, I think that was up near Lochernhead. I'm looking for the bit where we're on calendar. That's going to be about an hour in. Maybe slightly longer. Oh, come on, you stupid laptop. Play. Right, that looks like we're coming into calendar. Let me fast forward it a little bit more. Now that's Doon. Yeah, you can see with the windscreen wipers going quite a lot that the weather wasn't the best. I think what I maybe should do is maybe I should stop filming it horizontally and do it vertically, because you'll get a wider angle. I might give that a try tomorrow. Right, I've rewound it back to 30 minutes in. And you can just hear someone coughing. I think the air conditioning was on that coach, possibly. And where is that we're just pulling away from? That looks like Gogaburn. Corstorphine, that's where that is. Right. Yep. You can definitely hear conversations on that. Obviously, if anyone who was on that coach is watching this, if you want part of your conversation muted, just let me know and I'll mute it with some music. It's not an issue. Yeah, but that's definitely one of the things about the T14s is they're so quiet. T12s are slightly noisier, but I hear the T12s can only do around 200 miles in a full charge. E4 can do around, a T14 can do about 400, because I know that some of them do an E1 from Dundee to Edinburgh on a full charge. Then they do the E4 up to Fort William, get charged, and then the same return. Makes sense, really, when you think about it. And I think some E5s will be doing the same with the E3 service to Glasgow. Anyway, going back to the comments. Stuart says, no sound on the bus whatsoever. I have just checked the time lap for you have 1 hour 27:51. Ah, right. Wonder what happens at 1 hour 27:51 on this video. 1 hour 27:51. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. 1 hour 27:33. That's where I'm at now, so I'll hit play. Yep, we're coming in through calendar. And the coach is slowing because I can hear the indicator going. There's a car sitting parked in front of it. I'm going to put that on full screen, it'll look better. Yeah, it was like a car transporter truck that was blocking the road. And several cars were just driving past without letting us through. Mind you, it's probably easier doing that. We're only held up about 30-40 seconds anyway. a lorry was held up going in the opposite direction. Right, I'll put that back to standard screen. There we go. Stuart says my point is that it's just making... What's that? My point is it's just making no noise at all apart from the indicator. That's true. That is very true. But that's the electric ones for you, you know. I don't know how long these coaches will last, because I don't think they'll last as long as a diesel coach will, because the batteries will wear out. And then what are they going to do when the batteries wear out? Will it be cheaper to order new vehicles or get replacement batteries? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I know that down at the B-Line network for Stagecoach in Manchester, they had some B5s that came from Arbroath and Inverarmond, and they're saying that they're being converted to full-on diesel because the hybrid batteries are goosed, and it's probably going to cost more than the vehicles are worth to replace them. In my opinion, hybrid is not really the best option. You're either full-on diesel or full-on electric, not both. It's either one or the other, and that's what I think anyway. But give me a diesel vehicle over an electric one any day. That's what I say. Someone says to me, what would you choose to try to go on a trip with? An electric coach or maybe a Leyland National? I'll have the National all day. But I do like the electric coaches, I will admit. Stuart says, you lucked out with the people of your bus. Imagine sitting at the calendar temporary traffic lights in a silent ember with a bunch of American tourists waffling about Scottish Victorian balls. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true, dude. Very true, my friend, you know. I can't do a shit American accent for love nor money. I can't do an American accent. I can do impersonations of some WWE superstars. If you like your wrestling, then you might get a few of them. But he said that happened with me. I've always imagined that I'm on a coach or a bus, and I'm sitting down the front on a coach, whether it's a panorama upstairs at the front with the camera out for the whole journey. People are going to think, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? But if they want to know, all they have to do is ask me. I'll tell them. I'll even show them what I do. I don't mind. I've got nothing to hide. But I turn the camera away when someone's getting on or off, because that's out of respect for them. You know, I'm not invading their privacy. You know, filming them getting on and off a bus, it's not something that you want to see. You want to see the countryside and the scenery and that. That's why I do it. I don't do it for any other reason. I know that sometimes doing a live stream, the only time I've ever been asked why I'm filming was when I did a route that doesn't run anymore. It was a Stagecoach East Scotland X27A from Dunfermline to Kirkcaldy. It was just a short one. Well, when I say a short one, about 40 minutes each way. And we're coming up towards the hospital in Dunfermline, Queen Margaret. And someone asked me, said, excuse me, why are you filming? And then I had to explain to them that I've got a YouTube channel and I do full-length bus routes. I take requests for routes to appear on the channel, and that route had been requested. And they asked if I could edit them out so that they wouldn't appear in the video. And I said, yes, of course, not a problem. And I did that, because that's what I do. Stuart's now saying the Americans got up at Ingliston and the driver said to me, and there goes the silence, he knew them in a previous journey, saying they never shut up. That's a bit like me sometimes on these live streams, unless you haven't noticed. My mum would always say to me, someone's replaced your batteries. Yeah, Duracells. Sorry, I was just having another drink there. Actually, to be honest, I was chatting to an American couple before they got on, because they got on the same coach as me, the E4. I don't know if they were going all the way to Fort William, though. They might have been, I can't remember. But they said they were doing a tour of the UK. They were genuinely lovely people. And I was telling them about the channel, and whether I earned a subscriber or not from them, I don't know. If I did, thank you very much. It's deeply appreciated. I appreciate every subscriber, every single person. But I don't know. I generally don't know where they were going. But what I'm now wondering is, in fact, I'm going to look this up. Ember E5 to see where that starts from for Thursday. Where are we? Bus times. No, I don't want the weather. Refresh. I'll leave it there now. Stuart says, how did you get back down from Fort William? Just curious. I got the 914 at 1740. Was it 914? Was it? No, it was a 914. Because the reason that they were having to curtail the coaches at Fort William was because of a serious accident on the A82 northbound. Some of the coaches were running up to 4 hours late. And I'm not joking, that was eating into the driver's driving time. So a lot of journeys were getting cancelled north of there. Specialist services to Portree. I felt sorry for the people there because I thought the only other way that you're going to be able to travel to Portree tonight is either pay through the nose for a taxi, which a taxi from Fort William to Portree would cost you an absolute fortune, or you're going to have to double back on yourself and get a bus all the way down to Glasgow potentially, and get another one up to Inverness, and then get the 919. You know, that's the only other one I could think of. Or potentially you could have got the 913 from Fort William over to Perth Broxton and caught an M10 or an M90 from there up to Inverness. But it's a long way for a shortcut. I was going to get the 1840 914 down to 915, sorry, down to Glasgow at 20 to 7 at night. But I thought, if I'm hearing delays of up to 4 or 5 hours on some services, and I was reading what CityLink were saying on X, I thought, nah, I'm taking no chances. I'm getting the earlier coach down the road. And it was sitting there, ready to go. I got back into Fort William bus station about 20 past 5, and I was thinking about nipping into Morrison's just to get something light for my dinner. But then when I heard about the lengthy delays, and they said that the Eraser that was sitting there was going to be leaving in about 20 minutes, I thought, right, sod going back into Morrison's. I'm taking no chances. I'm getting on this, and I'm getting back down to Glasgow. Because I thought, I do not fancy being stuck something like 110 or 115 miles from home, especially with no hotel, because the hotels would have been fully booked. It was the people getting to the islands I was feeling sorry for, because the ferries were not waiting at the ferry ports for the buses to arrive there. So there was a lot of people stranded. Stuart says, there seems to be a pattern here. I have a feeling that Ember will be pretty much everywhere by next year. Funny you should say that. I'm getting the exact same feeling. And I think it's only going to be a matter of time before we see them doing trips down to Dumfries, Stranraer, the Borders, Galashiels, maybe even over to North Berwick. Edinburgh to Berwick-on-Tweed could be something for them. Okay, that's just into England, only by about 2 or 3 miles. That's something they could do. And it's something I've done for the channel, 253. 2.5 hours on an Enviro 200 mmc. I'd see a bum by the time I got there. I was glad to get off and go for a walk to stretch my legs. He says it's good for the environment though. Yes, I agree, it is. There's no emissions, but I still prefer a diesel bus over an electric one. Personal choice, but one maker bus that I would love to see, and I would like to do some more videos on, is the Volvo BZL. I missed X77 from Ayr to Glasgow one night, and when I missed it, I thought, right, okay, I'll see if I can get a 923. I know the 923s actually don't pick up in Ayr on the way to Glasgow. They're not meant to, but some drivers will let you on, because I've been let on there before. And then I think once I've been told I couldn't get on. But I got the number 4 up to Kilmarnock that night, and then got the X76. And the driver on the X76 was brand new. He was happy to let me sit downstairs behind him, because it was a interdict. And we were chatting all the way to Glasgow. I was telling him about the channel. He said he would have a look at it when he got home after his shift that night. Whether I've earned a subscriber or not, I don't know. But yeah, I was very impressed with the number 4. The Volvo BZL. Very impressed with that. I've done a full route on the 4 from Glasgow to Ayr and back, but that's when they had the Scanias, when they were doing it with Enviro 300s. That was a wee while ago. Stuart says, although CityLink will probably go fully electric eventually, might be a while though. I think it'll be a while before they're fully electric. You know, there's another operator that's getting around Scotland quite a lot, and they're looking at, I've heard rumours they're looking at Oban from Glasgow as well. Flixbus. Now, I don't particularly like Flixbus. I don't agree with their charging policy. They charge you $4.99, I think it is, if you want to take what they call the panoramic view at the front of the coach. And I say that with twitching, my 2 fingers twitching. Panoramic. They don't charge you for booking a seat away at the back, but they do down the front. And I don't agree with that, because you get on an Ember coach, they don't charge you to book a seat. I know with Flixbus you're allocated a particular seat. I did that once to Inverness, and someone had actually taken the allocated seat. Mentioned it to the driver, the person got shifted. They weren't very happy about moving, but they moved. And I thought to myself, well, I paid for it. I would have happily taken the seat opposite behind the driver, which wasn't reserved for the whole journey, according to the driver. But the driver was adamant that if you've paid for that seat, you take that seat. You sit in the seat that you've paid for, and the one you're allocated to. Which I understand, he's only doing his job. But anyway, I just don't agree with that as their policy. CityLink, you pay £1, you pick whatever seat you want. I don't normally book with CityLink if I'm going to Glasgow from Stirling, because if it's fully booked, I'll get the X36. It's not a problem. If it's full going to Edinburgh, I'll go up to Kinross and get something from there. But if I'm going to Aberdeen or Inverness or that, Fort William, I will book with them. I didn't book on Wednesday though, so I should count myself very, very lucky that I was able to get on. Sorry, Tuesday. Tuesday is when I was up there. I should count myself very, very lucky that I was able to get on. Or else I could have been stuck up there. Mind you, I wouldn't have been stuck up there. I'd have got the train back down the road. Anyway, Stuart says the only problem is that, unlike Ember, CityLink could give everyone else their routes. West Coast Motors, Shields, etc. So it won't be electric anytime soon. I totally agree with you. It won't be. I can see it being a good couple of years. Maybe even, maybe 10, 20 years. Who knows? I don't know. I generally don't know. Well, that's 10 to 11 now, and I was only intending this to be a 5-minute stream. It's turned into nearly a 2-hour one. I'm going to say goodnight now, folks, and we might do this again tomorrow. This has been good fun. Thank you for doing this with me tonight. It's been very much appreciated. Well, I'm going to say goodnight now, folks. I'm going to go and get some dinner. I've not had my dinner yet. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. We'll try and do a live at some point tomorrow.